Hey. Um, how is it going, everybody? I hope everybody's doing good. S'mores, if you hear, I'm drawing yours because that was at the end of the last stream where I did this. Yours came up, so we're gonna draw yours now. That's what yours is doing. Um, so, um, so, I want to say something interesting, but I don't know. Just been tired these past few days. I had this plan. I had this very elaborate plan what I was gonna do, and I was supposed to hit 2,000 like a week ago, and then I just didn't. And I was gonna do it on the last Saturday, and I'm like, okay, big stream this Saturday, 2,000, and then I hit 2,000 in the middle of this week. Um, and that didn't happen, so it's just. So I'm drawing people's OCs. They won't. Um, uh, so, I'm doing this. Um, let's see. Um, I'm trying to think. Fun things. Talk words, Sean. Ability. That's. Oh, I watched a very crappy movie today. I don't know. It's interesting. I always appreciate watching stuff, but I hated those movies. Oh, thank you so much for the raid. Thank you so much for the raid, Spider. I appreciate that immensely. Small chicken. Hello, hello, hello. How was your stream? What were you guys up to? And Tall, thank you for the follow, Tall. Well, what were you guys up to? How's it going? Drawing dads. Which dads? Just theoretical dads, or uh, your OC dad? That uh, I'd give you a shout out, but I suspect that everybody here is because of you. Oh, dang. Good. You are good. I'm gonna give you a follow. Oh, perfect dads. Uh, Now, what would Homer and Splinter be like together? I took some requests a few weeks ago on my Instagram and my YouTube over my followers' OCs, and I'm drawing them right now. Oh, thank you for the follow. I'll give, I'll give you a shout out anyways, even though I think everybody here is because of you. So, is that the type of stuff that you do usually? Um, hmm. What type of pizza could you? Yeah. What type? Um, Trying to think. It's like, I bet there's like, let's see. I bet there's like some restaurant offering donut pizza. Donut pizza. Donut pizza. There are pizza donuts that you can have. Yeah, your stuff is cool. I looked at your stuff. It's cool. Oh, I need to change that up. That's probably what they'd enjoy. Um, Did you see the new movie that they made? The new T movie that came out a few months ago. That was what? How good was that? That movie was great. I don't know if this character is supposed to be 12 or just that's the style. No, it from the look, No, it's like pizza on top of a donut. Like you get a plain donut and then you put the cheese and the pepperoni on it. Here, I will send you the recipe that I have just found. It does sound good, doesn't it? Probably. That might be tasty though. I so rarely draw children. It would, it would. Favorite type of pizza? What you order a pizza? What's your go-to? Um, you must, you must. Which? Which? I have liked pineapple pizza before, and I have disliked it. I don't know. Burn the witch. No. I mean, I'm boring. I'm boring. I think I like. I like pepperoni. That's boring though. Have you ever had Detroit style pizza though? Now, Detroit style. I don't know. Maybe it's good. Maybe you have to be a sophisticated. Maybe you have to be a sophisticated adult to really appreciate it. Maybe you have to be a sophisticated adult of high class standards. Listen to opera. Listen to the opera. Oh, Detroit style pizza is the sauce is on top. You put the cheese, the toppings on the first level, then you put the sauce on top. That's Detroit style. Oh. Zero sophistication. Quick. Tall, what is your favorite Vivaldi sonata? Well, it melts from the heat, my man. The point is that no, it stays on. The point is that you're not. The point is that the dough doesn't get soggy. See, in traditional pizza, your dough gets soggy. The good people of Detroit love it. So Tall, are you an artist yourself? Fem. Oh, I've been to New Zealand. That's my one boring fun fact that I bore people with from New Zealand. I have been to the nation. That's awesome. What type of stuff? Somebody that I used to know. Oh. What type of stuff do you do? Uh, well, Tall, I was a fan of a certain film series called Lord of the Rings, and I visited New Zealand. I visited New Zealand to go on a Lord of the Rings tour. That is explicit. That's what I did. So I went all over. Let's see. I went to Auckland. I did. I did see Mount Doon, Hoppeton. I got there right as they were filming. You know what I was. You know what I partly. I got there right as they were filming The Hobbit, so some of the places were closed down because they were actually filming stuff. Although I loved New Zealand. I thought it was beautiful. Part of me, I'd like to go back there at some point. Um, so what type of so tell me a little bit about yourself. What type of art do you do? Somebody that I used to know. Yeah, that's cool. You want if you want to share anything, feel free to. Knowing this person, I think this is a bendy OC that they asked me to draw, so I'm trying to do it in more cartoony style, I guess. If you want, feel free to join my Discord. Boop, boop. Somebody that I used to know. Um, that song is stuck in my head. Oh, are you planning to do some streaming on here? I will give you a follow. Boop. There we go. Is that some of your art and your profile thing? It looks good. Yeah, Twitch is a good place for artists. It's one of the few that there's that Quora thing that everybody's going to now. The Quora website, which is kind of like a more indie Instagram, Twitter thing. That it will not be. I know all the artists are kind of leaving like Instagram and stuff for I think it's called Quora. Carrot, yeah. Which is good, I think. Screw Instagram. Yeah. Are you on there, Spider? But like art, I think Twitch is good for artists. You know, I don't know if they can really use Twitch to somehow like to generate AI art stuff. I have a friend. Sorry, I have a friend who works in like, is quite a bit higher up in tech and stuff. Yeah, video games. He is a video game developer, and he said, you know, he said it's so funny, like the like executives. So executive. There are a lot of executives that sound like so out of date, and like they're still like fascinated by like NFTs and all this bullshit. And like I guess AI is gonna be the next thing. So, Spider, do you have interests in like eventually becoming like like a professional comic book artist? Yeah. Well, it's even for I'm not the best artist in the world. Even for a guy like me, I found I've developed a following doing art on here. So yeah. Dream. Ooh, that's cool. Could I see it? Uh, okay, Spider. Okay, Spider. Dream character you would love to work on. Dream character you would love to. If you got a chance to work on any character, what would you? Oh, how could I pick that up? Yeah, that would be great. By that, of course, you mean good old Ben Riley, right? That's what you mean. Or Kane? Do you mean Kane? Or who's the other? I'm trying to think of the other people from the Clone Saga. Yeah. Ben Riley still had some fans, but oh my god, they did a series with him a few years back that totally wrecked Riley, I think. Yeah. Cap would be good too. What about Spider Cap, where Spider Man becomes Captain America? I love Peter David. Not all some of the more bizarre comments he was making a few years ago that he apologized for. That was totally inexplicable. But I generally really like Peter David's writing, and I just I was excited to read that because he's one of those guys that's like a good fit for Spider-Man. Usually. And Peter David wrote one of Spider-Man's best stories, the death of Jean DeWolf. But it's like, I don't know, man. Sometimes like these guys who wrote like really good stuff in like the '90s and things, like like early 2000, 2000s and '90s, like when they come back to it, it's like, ooh boy, what happened? Kind of my opinion on Chris Claremont writing lately, also. I don't know. I only read the first few issues of that, and I'm like, this is boring. I make on my YouTube channel. I review a lot of comics. And I was gonna review that one, and then I'm like, ugh, I don't have anything interesting to say about this other than I don't know. Another good writer for. Yeah, I just want Chip Zdarsky to keep writing Spider-Man. To go back to writing Spider-Man, I miss him as a Spider-Man writer. His Spider-Man, I loved his Spider-Man run so much. But he's a serious writer now, and that's not allowed, I guess. Man, Spider. What's your opinion on the latest, like the Zeb Wells stuff? Have you been reading the Zeb Wells stuff? Yeah, oh my god. Sometimes I feel bad for like Spider-Man writers have to deal with a lot. Like you have to remember, Spider-Man is very tightly controlled by Marvel's editorial board. So like, you're part of the problem is like when they bring in writers for Spider-Man, they're not usually looking for really great writers. What they're looking for is like people who know how to take editorials like commands. Yeah, he wrote for Robot Chicken, and he created a show called, I think, Superior House, if I remember correctly. That was very Robot Chicken style. He's been like the main Spider-Man writer for a while, and oh my god, his stuff is so bad. Although it's one of those cases where I'm like, I debate in my head with his stuff because it's like, is it bad because he's bad, or is it bad because Marvel editorial is like, well, no. This is how we do Spider-Man. Spider-Man has to do this and this and this, and we have to set him up so that this crossover can happen, and we can promote this movie. You know. Yeah. So, once again, yeah. Oh my god. No, Superior, what are you talking about? Don't you love Paul? Isn't your favorite character of all time Paul? Paul all the time. Next Marvel movie series is all going to be about Paul. He's the greatest character ever. God, what a fucking horn that stuff is. Who was the editor that forced that whole deal? One more day. Joe Quesada, yeah. Man, I think I've talked about this before, but whatever. You guys are new. I can dust off old discussion points. One More Day really kind of killed Spider-Man, didn't it? Like, because they've never been able to get past that decision with Spider-Man. Everybody's favorite character is Paul. The best character in Spider-Man. I want an entire series. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's fine. Spider-Verse is good because it expanded the storytelling. I don't know. Part of me thinks they could easily fix all the problems with Spider-Man by pulling okay, so I don't know if people remember this because in DC Comics when the New 52 happened, the New 52 version of Superman was super unpopular. Like people legitimately hated him. They tried to make him like it just didn't work. So what they did is they just brought back the old universe's Spider-Man, Superman, and he died. The New 52 version died, and it's like that. It's like you could. I don't know. It feels like you could just make. I don't know. It's just a shame. Now, I mean, I do like. Yeah. Oh, that was so. God, I hated the New 52 so much. Every bad like thing about like 2000 era comics happened, uh, convalesced in like the New 52 as a concept. I think there's a kid on here on this channel who pops up every once in a while who really likes the New 52. So I don't want to be mean to that, but I hate it. I hate the New 52 with a passion. Yeah. I know. I'm not. It would be very incredulous for me to say that it was all bad. Um, Demon Knights was cool. That was a cool idea. Ooh, there was a lot of stinkers. It it is funny with like the New 52 in that they had to like do a whole event like a few years later where it's like, well, we're bringing back a lot of the old stuff that everybody's complaining about. Yeah, we're just bringing all that back. Uh, okay. What do we think? Hi. Ack, I missed you. Hey, Ack, how's it going? Ack Lane, Laney. Darn it, I miss the person on YouTube. I'm sorry. Okay, what do we think? This was the drawing I was given. This is the drawing I did. They do always do reboots. That is. Hey, Kier! How's it going? Good to see ya. They do always do reboots. It is funny that Marvel really resists that. They've done some minor rebooting over the years, but they do really resist rebooting. Because I like it. I like it, Kier. I like doing it. That's the secret. That's the secret. Is I enjoy doing it. Boop, 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 boop. Yeah. Boop. Boop. Nice. Very good. Well, like, that stuff just makes me mad. It is. It really is. Um. Okay. Let's see. What thing are you storyboarding? you know, people who use AI and call themselves artists. That's fun. Okay. Boop, 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 boop. Okay. I think that's everybody. Oh, right, the witch. Did I? 1 second. Cool. They are. They are. Let's see. Oh, be honest thing. Okay. 1 second. Okay, so I'm doing a thing where. So I asked a bunch of my followers on like Instagram and TikTok and stuff to submit me things, submit me OCs, and then I draw them on stream. And so that's just what I'm doing. And I'm picking them by random here. So let's do this. Let's see who gets next. Oh, right. Yeah. Oh, Office Devil. Aha. Okay. We'll do him next. Yeah. You know what, Tal? I'm gonna throw some hate. Screw those people. That's Kira. That's awesome. Yeah, there's no skill at all involved. It's very easy, and it's like, anyways, I don't want to get into another debate about AI. I'm just tired of talking. I'm just tired of talking about it. I do art and writing on this channel, and when you do either of those things on a channel, one of the first questions everybody's going to ask you is, "What do you think of AI?" And I'm like, I am just so sick. I'm so sick of it, man. I am so sick of talking about it. Yeah. What? Yes, tell us about your tablet. I mean, you could argue that. Anyways, that they're permanently stuck in whatever. Anyway, whatever. Generative stuff, and they. I did used to work for a company that was using stuff. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I kind of resent the term that they're using. They're using artist as a concept. They're not doing art. They're generating art. I mean, they're generators. But pictures. But pictures, you're just whatever. Like I've gotten firsthand experience with like, this is, well, we're not stealing your jobs. It's like you are, because I like. Hey, guess what? I worked for a company that where artists lost their job. I used to work for a company where artists did lose their job to AI stuff. I'd love to this. Yeah, it is. I'm not a fan. I don't know, but it's also like it's like something I realized I don't really have that much control over what's going to happen in life with this. So I'm trying not to get think about it too much, because it's like, well, I'm not really going to control. I really don't. I dislike it, and I would rather people not use it, but I don't really have control over what's going to happen, you know. So I can either let external things that I have no control over control my life, or just yeah, yeah. Have you seen like those Facebook posts that have been going viral of it's like these fake Jesus pictures that people are doing? Where it's like Jesus made out of shrimp, Jesus made out of like cardboard. It's like Jesus saving stewardess Scarlett Johansson. That's a recurring theme. It's wild, and it's like they're super popular and people are falling for them. No, oh my god. Okay, um, you have no idea how kind of terrifying these are. Shrimp Jesus. Hey Paul. Hey Paula. How's it going? Let me show you this. Look at this night. Hey Paula, how's it going? Look at this nightmare. All going. I'm drawing people's OCs that I had them submit over Instagram and TikTok and YouTube. Yeah, it's all messy. How's it going for you? Facebook, we're all going to join in Mark Zuckerberg's metaverse. Zuckerberg will lead us into a great new thing. Everybody loves Facebook. Everybody loves the Zuck. Shrimp and Shrimp Jesus will save us. Yeah. It's terrifying. Every butt. Threads is going to be the social media network of the future. Everybody loves Threads. Threads is what we all love, don't you? Like, hi, I'm Mark Zuckerberg. I like Threads. I'm Mark Zuckerberg. Hey everybody, I'm Mark Zuckerberg, and I enjoy Threads and hanging out on Facebook. Everybody loves Facebook, especially cool kids love Facebook and Instagram. And as of today, Mark Zuckerberg is officially cool. I've only been I've only been accused twice of crimes against humanity. Yeah. They're only gonna get worse. Only gonna get worse. Hello, I don't think you understand. Mark Zuckerberg is really sorry. I know that doesn't sound at all like Mark Zuckerberg, but anytime I think of him, that's the voice that comes out in my head is like, hi, I'm Mark Zuckerberg. Pauline, what have you been up to? Yeah. I mean, I can still tell deep fakes right now because when people's but yeah, they are getting better. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, that's good. I wish I like with magazines and stuff. That's better than what I'm doing. I haven't submitted to any magazines in a long time. I have this fantasy story I wrote that I think could potentially get into stuff, but it's like like fantasy magazines. Oh God, they just seem totally dead now. You can't find any good ones. I'm sure there are. I'm having trouble finding them. Yeah. Have you been published before? As a professional writer, which I was for a couple of months, as somebody who has been employed to write things, and is currently very desperately trying to save the project I was on because they might take it off the platform. Um, it's an honor to have your writing preserved. Uh, yeah, it's an exciting feeling. Well, I hope. Yeah, yeah. I'd like to submit some stuff. Well, let me tell you something. As a professional writer, which I was, I'm gonna ride that one detail from the rest of my life. God, I need to fix this chair. I'm sorry about it being so squeaky. You must, Pauline. You must. We must remember our Lord and Savior, Shrimp Jesus. A few places wrote me back once. God, there was a time where I could write short stories. Still like to try. I don't know. One thing, if I could, for a brief second, complain about AI. One thing I really love that AI did is that it made a lot of magazines that used to have free submissions start charging you to submit things now. Because they were so inundated by shitty AI stories that there was no way to like sort through them doing that. And I really appreciate AI writers for doing stuff like that. For doing that, really makes me psyched. Yeah. Well, the bigger ones, fortunately, probably have a pretty dedicated staff. Uh, to be able to sort through spam, but a lot of the smaller ones have had to inundate that. So I really appreciate that AI writers are helping the industry in such good ways. They've fixed so many problems. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yes. AI writers have helped us so much. Have helped the industry so much by their actions. They aren't scammers. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it would be incredulous for me to say that there aren't some uses. You know what I use AI for? When I struggle to come up with names. When I struggle to come up with names, I go to AI. I use it. I'm using it essentially as a character name generator, like names or place names or stuff like that. Yeah. Well, I can tell you as somebody who has actually worked in the industry at the now that I have experience as an industry writer, I can tell you what the actual attitude for like AI writing is. So the company I was working at, their initial idea was that they were just going to use AI writers for everything, but the stories were so bad, and the amount of editing it took to try and get the stories to work from AI was so much. It was like at some point it was like easier to just have writers write stories than try and get them to edit AI generated mush. That the bottoms fell out on that idea of just using AI written stories. So that's good. That's good news. Yeah. 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 So, but that's all I'm really. Yeah. Wizardy McWizard. Yeah. I'm terrible at coming up with names. It's always the thing I procrastinate on most. So I like using it for that, but that's really the only thing I'm using it for. Oh, s'mores! You missed it. I drew yours. Here you go. I'm sorry. Yeah, here you go. Are you in my Discord, s'mores? I can send you. No problem. Right. How can I send this to you? Um. Let's see. Oh, no problem, s'mores. No problem. I mean, I'm glad I caught you. Okay, let's see. No, don't. People always apologize when they have to go, and I'm like, don't feel sorry about that. When you have to go, you have to go. It's not like I would never ask people to stay. You know, this is a casual thing. This is a casual hangout. Not that you're free to leave whenever you feel like leaving. And you gotta go. You gotta go. You just gotta go. Just trying to find the drawing I was working on again. You guys want to see a drawing I did a little bit ago that I'm quite proud of? Wow, it's really behind. Right? Yeah, I was quite proud of this one. Okay. Now I got to find the drawing that I was working on. Oh, here it is. Ah. Yeah. So it's like AI writing. The problem with like AI writing is nobody wants to read AI written stories. Like, turns out like audience is pretty like audiences will accept a lot, you know, but fundamentally they want like okay, competently written stories. Art, unfortunately, people are slightly less critical of. But, you know, it is. Yeah. Yeah. They did it. I saw an interview with like an AI writer who he says, yeah, I make like $2,000 a month doing AI, and he puts out like 50 novels, and it's like. I feel like determinedly you can make more money writing one book a month than writing like 100 AI books a month. You know, it's just like in the end, it's like the money is better because like AI can't like listen. ChatGPT was trained off of Reddit. Like the one thing I use, there are two things I've been using ChatGPT for. Like when I can't think of a name. Spider, it was lovely meeting you. I'll try and stop by next time you're streaming. And occasionally I'm like, recommend me a book in this genre with these things, and I do have to, and occasionally I'll find like a fun book with that, with like very specific requirements. Though it does hallucinate things, but you know. Yeah. Well, it doesn't generate like characters. Like it doesn't even really generate characters. Like it has like yeah. I don't know. I don't know if it would. But I don't think like I don't think people it's just not a good writer is the thing. Yeah. I don't know. You know, Pauline, I do think once we hit if AI can start generating legitimately good like novels and stuff, you know, I don't know. The not to sound totally pretentious or anything, but I kind of think great writing can only come from people who are sentient. I know this is like sci-fi conversations we're having now, but like I think like truly great writing can only come from like experience, you know, experiencing those on a fundamental level. And I wonder if we ever get to that point where we'll be like, did we just invent like a person? Yeah. Exactly. It's like, yeah, you don't really care. He has his hair tough. Yeah, exactly. Nobody gives a shit because it's like it's too perfect. You want to see the human experience. That I am not a fan of. And plus, also, chess, boring, right? We need new rule. Where's the story of chess? Okay, Tall. Lovely meeting you. Have a good time. Where's the story? There's no lore in chess. Why isn't there enough? I want more lore added to the game of chess. Looking forward to it. Like that controversy with I know that's probably not what happened, but like that cheating controversy that happened, that would never be interesting with computers. Um, I don't know. Like, Pauline, were you following that whole Willy Wonka thing that happened in Glasgow? Oh, did you not hear about that? Glasgow. I think I'm saying it right. Glasgow. Yeah. So no, the whole thing was pretty much AI generated. The script was so for people not in the know. uh, there was a live event that happened, which was supposed to be a live recreation of Willy Wonka. You know, the Willy Wonka chocolate factory, and it was basically nothing. It didn't. There was almost nothing there. There was like no. There was like nobody had any candy. Everybody was sad and miserable, and the script that they were supposed to um, do was absolutely gibberish. And the revelation was that, oh yeah, the guy just AI generated the whole script also, and it created the villain of the unknown. So the actors had to basically like improvise a yeah, so all of the promo material, yes, all of the promo material was AI generated, but so was pretty much everything else that he could. And the guy, the like kind of the dude who was doing it, it turns out he was he's like this AI grifter who was selling AI books. Trying to get through these a little bit. People have been waiting on these for a couple of weeks, and I'd just like to kind of get through them if I could. Uh, yeah. Oh. Okay. Oh. Okay. Demon guy. Okay. Okay, it was nice talking to you. Who's still here? Man. Okay, what time is it? I mean, people are still here. Screw it. Okay. One second. I'm just gonna send it to the person. Send it to the person. Ask me to do this one. So. Funk! A friend, a supreme friend by the name of Supreme Red Eye. Hey, Funk, how's it going? Good to see you. We got, one second, I gotta. Is this, I'm glad you caught me too. One second, I gotta. There's somebody's OC I'm missing. There. No. Thunder. There he is. Okay. Yeah, that's a little bit what I'm feeling. Okay, one second. We are gonna add somebody here to the list. Photo library. Okay. Added. Okay. We will spin the wheel. Oh, right. We gotta take one of these off. Okay. We will spin the wheel. Where it lands, nobody knows. The Five Nights, no, the Frog. Okay, let's do that. Wonderful. God, I hate doing dishes so much. I just broke down and got paper plates. It's free. Would you believe it's 100% free to use? Oh, God. I'm there with you. Well, what's so frustrating about... Okay, plates frustrates me. Plates frustrate me because it's like... Okay, you spend all this time cleaning it, and then like a day later, it's all dirty again. It's like, what is the point? What is the point of doing all of this work? Oh, no. Oh, no. That sucks. Have you thought about embracing the white trash aesthetic and just using paper plates? It never ends. It just never ends. Yeah. Well, that was what my life was like living alone. I would constantly um, I would constantly try and get the work. I would constantly clean, and the place would never stay clean. It's yeah, yes. Nobody talks about that in con. I feel people are always so judgy of like when people eat takeout. It's like, why would you do that? Just sit home and make something. Jackass! If I stay home, if I make something at home, that dirt doesn't leave. I have to spend out. That is a day of my life I have to sacrifice to get the place clean again. Going out means none of that stays with me. The world. The world. Yes. People are monsters. It's like for some reason people can't get it through their heads that cleaning takes a long time, and that not everybody enjoys spending their whole life cleaning things. Yeah. What's really frustrating? I want to hear. Oh, that's the worst. Opus, you win. That sucks. That sucks worse than anything. I hate doing dishes. We should just all use paper plates. Just throw that shit out when it is done. Because it's, well, like. Yeah. Yeah. Praise the superiority of the paper gods. Yeah. You should. Your life will immediately improve. You'll see uh the world will open up to you in ways you've never experienced with paper plates. Really? Wow. The world is a vampire. That sucks. Also, how's it going, Opus? Did you like that movie, that really, really good movie that we watched? If you missed it, I put on a move. I put on a movie in the in on. I watched a movie on Discord today. It was pretty bad. Me and my friend JJ are working on a movie-based project that will be coming out relatively soon. It was bad. It was very bad. It certainly was a movie. Yeah. It requires watching a lot of movies and TV shows. But we're doing it. Um, right now we're watching. So the genre right now we're watching is dystopian sports movies, um, which is a thing that exists. Dystopian sports films. Uh, it's an interesting genre of film. Ah, oh, there it is. Trying to. That's on the list. Actually, that's on the list. We are gonna watch the Hunger Games. That's one of the things we're gonna talk about is the Hunger Games. But it's actually an older genre than the Hunger. Surprise, surprise! The Hunger Games did not actually invent the genre of dystopian sports films. Um, yeah. Yeah, and she's not not problematic person now, and she's not Suzanne Collins. Not as far as I know, not a problematic person now to like deal with. Um, yeah. So yeah. I know one thing I will have notes about is I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. Because one thing I know I will have notes about is the the one thing I could never totally get over with Hunger Games is how bad how like easily like just how bad like the world is set like the world government is set up in thing like the fact that like there's just one district that produces like one type of thing. Like there's only one food district there's only one food district. That always got not that that makes it makes the movie itself, the books and movies themselves bad, but I always found that so funny that it's like so bad. Like Like that's not how like stuff works. But I do have. You'll be surprised. I do have a revelation about all that. You'll be surprised. I do have a little bit of a revelation about all that. I don't think Susan Collins came up with that idea. What? 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 I don't. I think she's referencing some. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think she came up with that world building. That world. Because I think she got that idea from something earlier. Because there's a very similar setup in the film Rollerball, which is one of the texts for all this like all the for the dystopian sports film genre. Rollerball. Rollerball has seemingly text. Yes, I don't think that was an original idea on her part. I think she got that idea from Rollerball. Um, yeah. Yes, because the world building in Rollerball is implied to be somewhat similar in that certain cities only do certain things. Uh, Original text. Like Rollerball was Rollerball is a 1970s movie inspired by the short story Rollerball. That was, I believe, written in like the 60s. Text, an original or earliest version of the text, which makes later versions, to which later versions can be compared. Yes. There is, that is what means. The text. I actually didn't know the exact definition, but yeah. You pick up on context cues. You pick up on context cues, what stuff means. Yeah. So, yeah, so, okay, if clearly people haven't watched my video I made about Rollerball. You are text. Um, so Rollerball takes place in a future where corporations totally own the universe, run the world, and there is no war anymore. But there is a uber violent game called Rollerball, where which is like a mix of roller derby, football, fighting, baseball, and there's motorcycles involved. And the greatest athlete of all time is Johnny E, who has become who has become bigger than the game, and they're changing the rule. They've decided to change the rules to make it more violent in hopes that he'll retire. And then it was remade a few years. It was remade in the 2000s. My dad was quite fascinated with that movie. Then a few years ago, it was remade in the 2000s, and that was such a colossal disaster. The director ended up going to prison because of the fallout of that movie. Mm-hmm. Yes. See, he got so paranoid about because there were so many edits going on. Okay, so the movie was shot as an R movie. Was shot. Okay, how did this work? Okay, no. It's a little confusing. It was initially shot with a PG-13 in mind, and then they decided to reshoot. No. It's less. Okay, so the movie was initially shot with a PG-13, and then they're like, "Oh no! We have to reshoot it. We have to reshoot it to make it an R movie." So they reshot it with as an R-rated movie, and then the studio execs came back, and then they were like, "Nah, they should be a PG-13 movie." So they went back and reshot it and re-edited it again to make it PG-13. Although I remember very clearly that it. I guess I may have saw an R-rated version of it when I was a kid. Anyways, but during this whole time, the director got so paranoid about all this stuff that he hired a private investigator to bug the the producer, and everybody, that is a crime. You cannot do that. You cannot bug a private citizen like that. So he got caught and he went to prison for 4 months. And who was this director? John McTiernan, aka director of little known films Die Hard, The Predator, supposedly a much better cut of Michael Crichton movie. Supposedly there's a much better cut of a movie called Eaters of the Dead that he did that will never see the light of day. Yes, I did. They also shot a scene. They also, and this is the one thing I remember that movie for, besides the nudity, is that they shot a scene entirely in night vision for no explained reason. Yes, I did do. Yeah. It's funny because it's like the rollerball movie and like the original 70s rollerball is kind of, and is kind of in the vein of like artsy sci-fi 70s movies that are like cynical and are trying to say something deep about the world, man, the world that we live in. Whereas like the remake is like, what if we got Chris Klein to ride a bike? Anyways, I've also I watched The Running Man. Oh, so cringe. The 2000s are. Oh, are we in an ad break right now? Oh wait. Um. Well, it's definitely. I don't know if Suzanne Collins has ever said that she was inspired by that one, but I there's a chance she may have never even seen it. But a lot of these like deathmatch, like these future movies, dystopian sports movies take a lot of inspiration from that, even if they haven't seen it. Note anytime like one of the hints is for some reason a lot of them have orange uniforms. Like the good guys in these deathmatch movies will all wear orange. That comes from Rollerball. Uh, the other one I saw, which is also another big influence on Hunger Games, is The Running Man with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Arnie Schwartz. Well, this one was easy. Yeah. This one was relatively easy. I mean, to be fair, the real inspiration for Hunger Games is the movie Battle Royale. That's the real inspiration. That's the real movie that Hunger Games pulls a lot from. So, um, yeah, this one turned out okay. This one was pretty easy actually. Yay, 3 down. A whole bunch more to go. Have you guys ever seen that one, Battle Royale? Yeah, pretty much. That's a pretty good movie, Battle Royale. Yeah. Running. By the way, The Running Man. That's a sleazy movie. Oh my god. I mean, there's a part of me that like missed like how like uh just do you know that's a Stephen King book, The Running Man? I'm just repeating facts I heard. I made videos about, but whatever. Um, yeah. Um, yes, it is. Although it's the weird. So Stephen King for a while was writing under an alias by the name of Richard Bachman, and that's a Bachman book actually, not technically a Stephen King book. Yeah. Actually, I think this one turned out not too bad. Okay. You're off. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think part of the problem is there's a whole thing with one of the books he wrote that he feels really guilty about, and he refuses to have that one republished ever. Um, so um, it's a little bit why this whole experiment is not super well known, because not it wasn't his fault, but a fan base erupted around Uh, Opus, that is a very good question. Well, usually from my understand, like high fantasy tends to be like think Lord of the Rings. You know, that is a very good question. Let's see. Let's see what the intellects have to say. Let's see what the intellects over at TV Tropes have to say. Yeah. So basically, Lord of the Rings. Yeah, yeah. Sure. Screw it. Send it to me. I don't know if I'll get to it today, but I'll put it on the list. Yeah. They're quite long. Join the Discord. Submit the picture. I'll put it on the list. Yeah. Well, okay. So the thing is, all high fantasy is fantasy, but not all. I would say Opus, think of it like this: all high fantasy is fantasy, but not all fantasy is high fantasy. Does that make sense? Is probably the way I would. Yeah. So if you have like a Dark Lord, a Chosen One. Okay. Elements: Dark Lord, a Chosen One, Castle. Basically, if you're writing a Lord of the Rings ripoff, that's the real answer. If you're ripping off Lord of the Rings, that's the real answer. Like Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Yeah. Yeah. Ancient Prophecies. Yeah. 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 Well, that comes from J.R. Tolkien himself being a linguist. Like, you have to remember, partly what inspired Lord of the Rings is J.R. created all these fake languages for fun, because that's just a thing he would do for because he was a linguist. He would just make up languages for fun. Um, and he was like, "Well, I got to write a world that takes place. Okay, so where do these languages live?" Elijah, if you join the Discord, I can get I'll get your OC. You can post if you join the Discord. I'll do your OC. It's gonna be it's randomized, by the way, the list of which OCs I do. So yeah. Oh my goodness, yes, that's a big part of it is the languages. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the thing about it is like Okay. Yeah. And Scandinavian folklore. One thing I always loved about Tolkien. Yeah, yeah. Well, one thing I always loved about Tolkien is like Lord of. One of the things that I always found so fascinating. I posted a picture in writing of what is high fantasy. One of the things that I always loved about Tolkien is like his idea was he was going to take all these like disparate myths of like Anglo-Saxon, Celtic, and like Scandinavian stuff and combine it into like one story. Like his goal was to make a cohesive universe out of all these like disparate myths and stuff. And I always thought that was like the coolest idea ever of like okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay, I'll put okay, sure. Let me one second. One second. Let me take a picture of this. Okay. What's it? Actor. Is what is a court? Is that a court? What is actor? I don't always pick up the. Uh, okay, sure. Ah, yeah. Yeah, I figured that's what it was. Okay, sure. Okay, I put you on. I'm gonna put you on the wheel. Yeah. Sarah. Yeah. I thought that's what it was, but I didn't remember the exact. Okay, you're on the wheel. I just put your comment on the wheel, so let's see. There, that's you right there, Elijah. It's totally random. These are all the requests I have. Oh wait, one second. Let me take one off that I've gotten, and it's just random who I pick. So it's entirely fair. If you want to jump the line, it's $5. Okay. Okay. Uh, yeah. Yeah. I don't know. People like what they like. Oh, Aragon is definitely a high fantasy series. Um, I of course I like sword and sorcery, which is a little subtly different from high fantasy. I mean, the real answer is, oh, very annoying. The real answer to what genre, I mean, okay, here's the real answer. What genre of fantasy it is, it depends entirely on what genre of fantasy it is. It depends entirely on what you're taking inspiration from. Well, I like sword and sorcery. Which is more pulpy. Yeah. Yeah, no. Hey, like, no, I don't want to bash anybody for having their fun. I just, it, court never sounded that appealing to me, really. So, yeah, yep, it's a lot closer. Yeah. Well, people, yeah, I don't know. It's it hits the right demographics on. It hits the right demographics for, what is popular on the internet. So, and you can either sit around complaining about, I can either sit around complaining about it, or I can try and present my version of fantasy and hope people will like that better. But yeah, yeah, yes, definitely. Well, despite the weirdness of it all, sword and sorcery is actually older than high fantasy, which feels weird to think about. But so sword and sorcery is more of a creature of like the 30s and 40s, whereas like high fantasy is a creature of the 50s and 60s. Which is weird to think about, that certain things are. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Which is which is weird. I know, which is weird to think about. That like, it's weird that like Lord of the Rings is actually comparatively somewhat younger than a lot of other fantasy stories. One thing I always find so fascinating about Lord of the Rings, and I don't know if this is like good or bad, but it's certainly something to think about, is it kind of brushed away a lot of the previous fantasy that existed. Like fantasy, there was a lot of fantasy types of fantasy before Lord of the Rings was a thing. Was a thing. Hey, listen. Everybody's horny. Yeah, yeah. Everybody's horny. I can't condemn that. That's just that's yeah. I can't really condemn. I can't really condemn that. I mean, the thing about like, yeah, I mean, especially when I say I kind of like sword and sorcery, which is a little bit different. Is that that's not exactly free of like uh, people's fetishes. Although, according to at least according to Robert E. Howard, um, he always maintained that he actually didn't like putting that stuff in there, and it was kind of the editors that would force you to put like the extra like horny stuff in there. And when he had more editorial control, he never really did that. Well, well, sometimes funk it's either you put the stuff in or you don't get money for food this month. So theoretically it's a choice. Theoretically he could have just said no, I'm not going to do that, but then he doesn't theoretically he doesn't get paid that month. So sometimes you must make choices. You must make choices about what you are willing and not willing to do. It is like one of the things that's so like frustrating, I would say, about like modern writing as compared to like writing in the past is like, okay, you could easily like sell 3 or 4 short stories in the past and make like enough for like make a decent living. Like people were buying like you could sell like a short story for like $500, and like magazines would pick it up. Like Stephen King, yeah, 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 yeah. I agree. Yeah. No, no, no. But you don't understand, Funk. Grown-ups read it too. So I think what we should do is cater exclusively to that demographic and forget the YA demographic. The demographics that YA was actually supposed to appeal to. I think that's fair. Ooh, did I let an actual opinion about books slip out? Yeah. I think that's what we should do. Yeah. I agree. I agree. Like everybody like listen, not to like be judgmental, but yeah, everybody should have their fun. But I don't know. Sometimes I get frustrated with like when adults like with adults who read nothing but like YA books and then complain it's like not catering to them exactly, and I'm like, you're, you're a guest in this genre. Come on, you're a guest. Like, behave. Like this, it's fine for you to enjoy it, but it's not. It's not really written for you. Like again, I don't consider anything wrong with like adults actually like reading YA and stuff, but it's like I don't know. It's like I always go like you're a guest in the genre. Like you're a guest. You know, this is not really supposed to be for you. It's fine that you're here, but understand that this is a this is meant for certain. This is not meant for people like you, really. Um. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. So enjoy. They should enjoy it. But what if? Oh, I'm trying to. Oh no, I shouldn't do that. I was about to stir up some trouble with a certain a YA author. who maybe was famous initially for writing Harry Potter fanfic, where and then who would then which one? Ooh, which one am I thinking of? And then launches tirades against anybody who criticizes them. Yeah. Like, um, not to speak out of school. Yeah. I mean, some could argue that, like, Funk, what is this Twitter you're talking about? I only know the hip new social media network for true free speech warriors called X. Yeah. Yeah. We're in the what are we in the TikTok era? I think TikTok is where where a lot of those people migrated to. For now, yeah. They'll probably head to Instagram afterwards. Or or if they're smart, they're already on Instagram and TikTok. Of course, I was part of when I was on TikTok, and I haven't I deactivated my TikTok account for the main reason. Might surprise people. I was actually my plan. Part of the reason why I deactivated TikTok is because I wanted to make sure I wanted to be able to focus on writing for a while, and like I was distracting myself with TikTok and not writing. So I deactivated TikTok because I had this plan. Like, okay, I'm going to deactivate TikTok for a while. Yeah, I just deactivated. I didn't delete I just deactivated it. I'll come back after I have something written. Like, I'm not letting myself come back until I have a project finished. Yeah. Then I'll come back to TikTok. But I'm not letting myself stay on the. I'm not. Yeah. Well, we're all moving. Funk. We're all moving to Kara. That's the new one. We're all heading to Kara. That's where all the cool people are going now. Yeah. Well, as an extremely successful Instagrammer who runs an extremely successful Instagram account of let's see, how am I doing? Yeah. Let's see, how am I doing on there? I have 670 followers on. Yeah. I don't know. I want to I don't know. Part of me is thinking of I need a break from all this social media stuff. Yeah. The thing is, I don't really engage with Instagram outside of like posting on there. Like welcome back for real. Like, here's what I do fun. I check your account. I check a few other friends' accounts, and then I post and check my stats. And that's all I really do. Yeah, that's fun. Uh, yeah. Well, the problem with us is, I'll say this: like the problem with what we're dealing with is, um, you and me, Funk, is that we both ostensibly want to use social media to help eventually further our writing. Like I think both of our plans is ostensibly like, okay, social media, we're going to like use social media to help uh become we're going to pull that like grind of like trying to use social media to promote our writing. So yeah, so we both feel it's like a necessary, like, okay, we have to be on there because this is what's going to assure our future. But it's, so it's very easy to justify ourselves like, okay, we'll just stay on there and we'll do this. And it's like we're not addicted. It's our job. It's our job to do this. Yeah. Eh, I'm relatively certain I can sell my book under my own merits. I'm pretty sure I could sell it, advertise it correctly. I'm already I'm one thing I do so here's the thing I'm being like all sneaky about with yeah here's the thing I'm being all sneaky about is like I deliberately make videos on subjects for books I potentially want to write in the future. Like I've been trying to make more wrestling content and fantasy content and orc content also all because guys, here's the plan. Here's the plan. If this can all work out, eventually when I like release the book, I will have it so SEO like monetized, like people search up and they find my stuff. When I release the book, boom, there it is already. The trick is to like think of your fan base, think of the fan base that might like you, like your thing, and try and make videos based on those subjects. Yes, I'm being. So someday, like, so the like part of the superhero thing is like someday I know I'm eventually gonna write like a superhero story. So I want that, like, and I'm trying to make like wrestling some content about pro wrestling because it's like, okay, if I can get people who are fans of pro wrestling, eventually I can sell them my pro wrestling book. Yeah, my pro wrestling book. But it's like nobody's aware that I. And the fortunate thing is if you do that, you have like fans already fans of the thing already interested in your channel, like they've already followed you because of that, and then you're like, oh, have you possibly seen the thing I'm doing? Sneaky, very sneaky. I'm so smart. Yeah, that's the advice I've been giving people anyways, like god, I hate how loud this chair is. um So speaking of, how is the writing going, everybody? It is. That's the plan. One idea I had was to like release um one idea I had was to like do a lot. Yeah. Like I think at some point we'll do some live streams of like some pro wrestling games and stuff. Um about and yeah. Anyways. Who's still here? Let's take let's take a break. Let's take a break and draw. Just stuff for the fun of it, okay? No, they are, but I'm a little tired. I'm a little tired. I'll pick this up. I'm a little tired, but I want to keep hanging out, so I'll pick this up later. We'll pick this up later. This might be just permanently what I do on art streams from now on. Is just this OC thing where we keep adding to the list. Um. Anyways, I've been watching. Did you guys ever watch the show Home Movies? Like, is that a show you guys watched? That's a really good show. I love that show so much. Awesome. It's really good. It's about these. It's an animated show. It's about these kids who they spend every day making uh, oh, how was is doesn't that oh isn't that like a famously terrible ending of Enterprise? I've never seen it, but I know people really hate the ending of Enterprise. Funk, check out this end. How bad this ending was. Um, yeah. What's funny, Funk, is that was the ending of all of Star Trek for a while. the end of Star Trek Enterprise. Like that's how they were just going to end Star Trek. Was on that note. And for like almost half a decade, that's kind of where it was. So check this out. It's revealed that all the events of Star Trek Enterprise. Isn't it revealed that? Yeah, that the events of Star Trek Enterprise were all a hologram. Yes, it was very stupid. I think, yeah, ending Star Trek, really stopping producing Star Trek shows was such a massive miscalculation. Yes, it was very stupid. I agree. Yes. You're not talking about a show you have. No, there's no show that. Funk, did you ever experience one of your favorite shows ending in a damp squid? You never experienced that, right? That's a phrase. I always think about Star Trek. Yeah. Yeah. I always think about Star Trek. I always think, man, Star Trek is such a perfect franchise in a lot of ways. Because you can kind of just keep going with it forever. Ooh. What was that show? Oh. Yes, I know exactly what you're thinking of. Oh, that was such a good show. It was like no. This was an independent web show that this guy did. Um, I know. It was like, let's see, animated web show set in space. Yeah. There's so many like animated cartoon. There's so many like cartoon pilots now on YouTube. It's ridiculous. I'm sure I linked it to you. It's like something goldfish, if I remember correctly. Yeah, he made 2 episodes. It was an English show, and one of the guy, yeah, and the guy, one of the actors was the guy from uh, Pirate. He was in Pirates of the Caribbean. Was one of the voices. Give me some time. I'll find it. But yeah, that was a good show. God, there are so many like I I think with the success of Has Been Hotel. I liked Has Been Hotel. I maybe wasn't obsessed with it like everybody, but I remember thinking it was a funny show. The pilot was funny. One of the really nice things about the success of Has Been Hotel is like people are starting to all post like animated pilots now. Like so we're getting like a lot of like cool indie animated series now because of it. What? Starship Goldfish. Yes, that's what it was called. That was a really good. I wish that got made. It was pretty much like one guy making that too. So I think I recommended that a little while ago. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. Yeah, post it in the Discord. One I've been watching a lot lately is there's this really fun show called Day Job. It's indie, but it was produced by it was produced by ABC, which is the Australian, not ABC, the Australian broadcast network. It's an Australian one, and it's really fun. It's kind of it's a little bit you know it's really it's like kind of a little bit like The Office, but it takes place in a bowling alley. It's an animated mockumentary, and it takes place in a bowling alley. That one's really fun. I think the guy is like the creator of it is like was is a director on Smiling Friends, so that's cool. Anybody watching Smiling Friends? Um, uh, yeah. Oh right, House of the Dragon is coming back. Uh, this is the scary one because it's like so the original guy who was like running it was he was on the original showrunner who was in charge of it was has left, and there's like no controversy for that. He said before going in that he was only going to do the first season. So like they've left it to a new guy now. So you know, uh, high chance of fucking it up. So high chance of screwing it up there. Oh yeah, yeah. Nothing. I remember reading somewhere that he had been working. He essentially he was one of the he had been writing Game of Thrones for like a decade, and I think it sounds like he's just kind of burnt out on doing Game of Thrones and wants to like do new stuff. But he agreed to like stay on for the first season to help out. When you're writing like one show for like a decade of your life, it can, especially if you're a successful enough TV writer that they let you run the show. I imagine you can get burnt out eventually doing it. You wonder if like possibly that was maybe part of the problem with like what happened with Game of Thrones originally is that maybe they had been doing it too long and they were burnt out and they wanted to do their Star Wars show, which is which is not true. They didn't want to do their Star Wars show. They wanted to do their terrible alternate. They wanted to do their terrible Civil War show. Yeah. 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 Oh, everybody loved that. Loved those, right? Everybody loved those ending scenes. Uh, yeah. I do have to say that yeah. Well, we'll see. This is just me being cold. This is just me cold hard speculating. No, what are you talking about? Everybody loved that. What people like in cinema is when they can't see anything. That's why they call film. That's why they love film. It's a listening medium. Who needs visuals? Yeah. You should. You'd like that. What We Do in the Shadows is very fun. That's a very fun show. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Consuming. Listen, if you open your eyes at all during a movie, you've committed a crime, a war crime. It's actually illegal to watch movies. Yes, you should watch what you'd like. What We Do in the Shadows. That's a really funny show. Did you? The movie's also really good. The original movie. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Um, I want to talk to you. We must talk eventually. If you do watch it, uh, the the emotional vamp. My favorite bit from that is the emotional vampire stuff, or the energy vampires. Because they kind of invented a new type of vampire for the show. Uh, uh, well, I'm aware that they sort of existed beforehand. Oh, an ad's gonna start soon. It's gonna start in a few minutes. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I love Matt Berry. The true voice. We should get him as Doctor. But so one of my favorite. So they have this. They added to the lore that there's emotional vampires or energy vampires, and what they do is they walk around and try and cause as much misery as possible, because that's how they feed. They feed by causing misery. So like they're the most aggressively, they're like aggressively boring, they're like they're boring and petty and trying and like will deliberately bait people into like will try and deliberately bait people into arguments or uh uh yeah, exactly. uh Anyways, so they have like this bizarre, it's that stuff is so funny because it's like, anyways, I like all that stuff for it's a good show. uh Probably I was trying to think if there was like good fantasy comedies out there, and I really can't think of any. um Show not there's great fantasy book comedy books, but like good fantasy comedy books, you know. No, not books, TV shows. I'm tired. um so I fell asleep at like 5 and I woke up at 1. So my schedule is, we call that in the biz the devil's nap. So my sleep schedule is weird now. Oh, I love it when Nightbot all lines up like that. That's my favorite thing in the world. Lost on me! Los. Deus. Deus. De la Morta. Deus de la Morta. Oh, yeah. Um. We're drawing. I'm drawing Ricky the Dragon. Steamboat. Because why wouldn't you want to draw Ricky the Dragon Steamboat? Sleep is. My favorite. Um. Uh. God, I need to fix this chair. Oh, so news time. Well, nothing's decided yet, but probably moving. Good chance we're moving. We haven't totally decided when we're moving yet, but there's a good chance we are. Yes, she did. Ad. Yeah. Can you guys see me? Or is an ad playing? Yeah. Time to. Ad break in. Okay, just making sure. Yeah. Yeah, it's. Yeah, this house, it's too big for just the two of us. We don't need this big of a house. It's too big and it's too expensive and it's time to move on. Thinking of we're potentially thinking of moving to a city called Nanaimo, which is just outside of Victoria. Very very hip city, Nanaimo. That isn't totally decided yet, but the thought process is happening. Um, yeah, cool beans. I might, I might take a little bit of a road trip myself in a little while. Well, I'm not needed here while that process is going on. And truth be told, I don't like strangers in my house. I don't like dealing with strangers coming by all hours of the day. So I said to I said can I take a road trip while you're showing the house to people? I ugh. So I don't know what that exactly means. I'll try and think of some ways to potentially stream while on the road, but I might be spotty for those for while I'm gone. I think it would be fun to stream in different locales, but I don't know. I haven't really thought about how to set that up. Um, um, what time is it? Um, Well, the plan is we're going to go up to Nanaimo. I'm going to go up to Nanaimo to see the house, and then I'm going to take a road trip back down to Houston by myself. Is kind of my idea. So I'll start up in Vancouver and drive all the way down back to Houston by myself. Is kind of my idea. And I know people on the way there, so it'd be fun to see them. All the way through California. California. Maybe take a detour into Mexico. Yeah. See some friends along the way, possibly. Just Oh yeah, yeah. You could. Yeah, never got to see this room. But you could potentially, when I move, you could come over. Yeah. At one point, Opus here, if you guys don't know, Opus was needed to maybe come to Houston, and I offered, and we offered the house if Opus needed a place to stay. Yeah. Yeah. Well, one of the things is, so part of it is, this is just speculating on this is just me thinking. I think my mom would like to see her family more, but also my mom doesn't want to live so close that she would see her family all the time. If that makes sense. Like she would look. Yeah. Well, if I lived in British Columbia, I'd be. Yeah. Thank you. I do have a video of this house up on my YouTube channel if anybody wants to see it. Um, yeah. 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 If you guys want to see what my house looks like, there's a shot of it during Christmas. Yeah. Yeah. Well, so the deal, okay, so my mom's side of the family is very drama filled. It can be very drama filled, and like you don't it's nice to be far away. It's nice to be far away enough from them that doesn't really hit you all that often, you know. But it's nice to be close enough to them that you can see them every once in a while. Ugh, the amount of stupid petty shit that that side of the family has encountered does is ridiculous. This is the side of the family that uh, rem- yeah, yeah. This is the side of the family that's remember those bizarre texts I got a few years back from my aunt. That's that side of the family. Not yeah. Uh, I have answer. Yeah, yeah. I could potentially have an answer. I mean, they're nice people. I should be clear. Because I always forget. I always forget. I always forget to include them. I mean, the implication, I guess, is that the eyelids are. The implication is if I just draw the eyes smaller, that the eyes are closed. Yeah. I don't know. Just the reference. Just the references I am using. I always have open eyes. I don't know. I've gotten that. I've been getting that note from people, so I guess I'll start making sure to go out of my way to include them. No, it's just laziness. All answer, the most answers is just like eh. I put in the effort. Yes, I do. I do have a drone. I haven't flown in a bit, but I do have a drone. I do. I just haven't flown it in a while. You know. Yeah, I'm always nervous about getting in trouble flying that thing, so that's the real answer. And I've been trying to study to get officially licensed to fly it, but I'm like, yeah, not there. It's you gotta remember all these like wet wind patterns, and it's like just I don't know. When I graduated from college, I never wanted to study for another thing again. I was like, I'm done. I did it. I did 20 plus years of this garbage. I don't want to do it anymore. What was I saying? Have you? How long have I been on for? Um. Um. Uh. Yeah, about. I can keep going for a little bit longer. My friends are here, and it's nice to see my friends. Um. Uh. Uh. So the Running Man. Nah, I can go on for a little bit longer. I'm just trying to think of something to say. Oh, they're remaking The Running Man, which is a movie I saw for all this. Uh, Edgar Wright is remaking The Running Man, which is an interesting choice, but I'm excited about it. Um, The Running Man is fun. It's agreeably a lot more sleazy. It's funny because I saw The Running Man right after I saw like Rollerball, and Rollerball is sort of like the prestige, like trying to be a serious like '70s sci-fi movie about big ideas. Whereas like The Running Man is an '80s action movie that yeah, it has some thought processes, but it is equally as it has. Running Man is funny because it's like it's one of those movies where it's like, yeah, people sure do love violence on people are sure desensitized to violence, and maybe there's something wrong with that, but also, hey, look at all this sick ass violence we're doing. Isn't it cool? But bad. There's so much sex and violence, and it's so bad to watch it on television. So let's show a lot of it, and you can see how bad it is. I just it's the message is a little muddled. Whatever. It's an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. It's about delivering like epic one. It's a fun '80s action movie. It's pretty fun. It also features the film. Yeah, this is adult TV. It's bad. Well, it brings to mind like early like film like spice. I guess we can use that word. Movies where it's like where they wanted to like show nudity, but it's like you can only show it if it's like like disapproving. So it's like we're gonna show you all the naughty bad things people are doing that you shouldn't emulate, and then they just show it to you. It's kind of like exploitation movies did that a lot, where it's like no, we're critiquing the thing, we're just spending a lot of time doing it also. It's why sometimes like exploitation movies aren't as fun as like people make them out to be, because it's like yeah, there's a lot of these like boring moralistic lectures about how bad all this stuff is. You know, that's why we must thank the god of exploitation movies, Russ Meyer, for actually having fun. Russ Meyer is so weird because it's like, anyways. Um, Russ Meyer is so weird because it's like when he started out, he was kind of he was not really that far removed from say like a softcore porn director, but like nowadays, like his stuff has been reassessed by like a lot of feminist critics, and it's like he's considered a lot of his movies are now considered like kind of like are have been like quite positively received in those circles, which it's a weird thing to see. But it's like then you watch it and it's like you kind of get it. Like you kind of get what people are. You go like, oh, I can kind of get why people are saying that. Anyways, the one they really like that people talk about a lot is he did a movie called Faster Pussycat Kill Kill Kill. Great title. And anyways, interesting dude, Russ Meyer. I've always been quite fascinated by him as a person. They were gonna make a movie. He also the only script Roger Ebert ever wrote was for a Russ Meyer movie. And you're like, what? No, this is certainly before like Roger Ebert became like a Pulitzer Prize winning film critic. No, after Roger Ebert won the Pulitzer Prize, he then wrote a Russ Meyer movie. And that movie, that's an insane movie. I love that movie. It's called Beyond the Valley of the Dolls. If you ever get a chance. Yeah. It's very well, how do I best explain it? Very 60s movie. Very obvious that people may have not been totally very obvious that people may have not been totally uh clean of mind when they were making that. I think like one critic said like you can feel the cocaine coming off. You can feel the drugs coming off the screen. And that anyways. Uh yeah. Uh if you've but funk. Yes. What We Do in the Shadows is definitely a movie that have you seen did you ever see the movie? The original movie? What We Do in the Shadows is so interesting because there's like a whole it's kind of like its own mini cinematic universe at this point. Because there's actually two shows that they did. There's What We Do in the Shadows, and then there's a spin-off more directly of the movie called Wellington PD. That is about it's about two cops in Wellington having to like deal with supernatural disasters. Or, like having to deal with the supernatural. No, no. Movie is first. Movie is for What We Do in the Shadows is the movie is first, and then they adapted it into a TV show in the U.S. and another TV show in New Zealand. It's all on Max. No, it's Taika Waititi and Jamie Clement. Yeah. Yeah, so you have a whole universe to explore. Um, I know they were. Yeah. I know they were also talking potentially about they were considering making a third one where it's a spin-off where it followed the werewolves. Possibly it followed a pack of werewolves, but I don't know if that one ever got off the ground. Um, the were the werewolves were one of the funnier parts of the original movie. Did you did you ever see Flight of the Conchords, the TV show Flight of the Conchords? Um, with Flight of the Conchords. The creators of that was Jamie Clement and Taika Waititi's Flight of the Conchords was a television show. Was a television show that was kind of their first really big. Clement and Taika Waititi. Flight of the It was such a good show. Okay, so the creators of What We Do in the Shadows are Jamie Clement and Taika Waititi. Um, and the show, and so Jamie Clement and got another guy named Brett Morris, who was in Lord of the Rings, is as Figwit. Starred at starred as starred in Flight of the Conchords, which was a TV show about a folk band in New York City trying to make it a New Zealand folk band in New York City trying to make it big. It was a very good show, but it only lasted 2 seasons, unfortunately. Uh, Also featured Christian. Brett. Okay. Brett McKenzie, Lord of the Rings. This Figwit. This is Figwit. Okay, so uh, anyways, Flight of the Conchords should it's a good show. Good show. From the creators, it was the creators of What We Do in the Shadows original show that brought them notoriety. Very good show. Should if give it a chance. If you like What We Do in the Shadows, you might like that. Yes, yes, they are. And the show is about them as a band trying to succeed in New Zealand. They were the fourth most popular folk band in New Zealand. They were the fourth most popular folk band in New Zealand. So they use that success and try and make it in America and flop all the time. That's not. That's a joke, of course. They were actually quite successful in New Zealand. But they were actually quite successful. They got the TV show. Anyways, it lasted for. Yes, they're very good. Anyways, one of the Concords, Jamie, went on to create What We Do in the Shadows. And Taika Waititi was one of the developed the show and directed a lot of the episodes. So that's the connection. And the other guy, Brett, won an Oscar for Best Songwriting for writing songs for the Muppet movie. Anyways, and then hasn't really done that much since that. Yes, there's a lot of songs. You're the most beautiful girl in the room. You're pretty enough to be a model, but that can't be like your but you'll still have a day job. It's funny. It's a very funny show. Okay, I think I've explained it all. Uh, it's so hard to explain like comedies and stuff because it's like, well, it's funny. You gotta watch it, but No worries. Well, they do have a tendency to pick a little bit grandiose names, like What We Do in the Shadows. That's a pretty grandiose name. Flight of the Conchords is also a pretty grandiose name. It's a good name for a vampire series, but I always thought that's like such a grandiose name for, like, in the US it would be like Funny Vampires. Welcome. Yeah. Well, it doesn't help that Jamie Clement doesn't appear in the What We Do in the Shadows TV show. He does appear a couple of times in the show, but he is the main guy in the he is one of the main guys in the movie. Yeah. Yeah. And also my desire not to show any copyrighted clips on here so I don't get in trouble. Damn it, all I want is... just get me to... I'm at 709 hours in public watch hours. Man, it's going to take me forever to hit the 4,000 mark. Yeah, it's probably as good a time as any to call it. Honestly, let's raid somebody. Let's raid people. I'm pretty tired, honestly. Just giving it. Yeah, honestly, let's probably call it here. I think this is good enough. We'll do. Oh, sure. We'll do this guy. He's talkative. Okay. I'm going to call it here, everybody. Have a good day.
With everyone else, but on the other hand, he is an asshole. He's a monster, kinda. So we got him. That is the focal point.
Well, do what you love, and you'll never work a day in your life.
Hello, Sean.